we've talked in the past about how do we up our game and stack our skill sets. Like I think every organization feels that they're hiring the best and the brightest. Like that's the idea. So we hire for skill set, sometimes, but I think most important, we're trying to figure out how compatible are team members, because this is where the secret sauce lies in teams. And this is what Will found, because in his study and his whole creation of the FIRO theory, FIRO element B, was, we can hire all the best people, but if they don't get along, it's gonna be a train wreck. So what we try to do is, through the human element tools, through the radical collaboration tools, is really teach people how to work through that compatibility. Is to say, what's the dynamic between you and I that's keeping us from being compatible so we actually get the work done? So around self-awareness, self-accountability, some of the skill sets. But how often have you been on a team where two people aren't getting along? It impacts the entire dynamic of the group. So what we want to be able to do is, with the CP effect, is just make people aware of that, instead of confronting the person, let's confront the dynamic and allow for that to work through so we can be more compatible to get work done. And there's just a lot of time wasted by not so much of this. There's a lot of talent out there, but they're just not able to work together, right? So that's where the secret lies with a lot of the human element work, is just teaching people how to be self-responsible, self-accountable to themselves and to their colleagues. So
I think that's very powerful what you just said. And rather than faulting a person, blaming, shaming them, addressing the dynamics between us, so that it doesn't become personal, doesn't become dehumanizing.
Right. Well, and again, from a brain-based perspective, we talk about how to be confronted with something is a big rush to our nervous system. Mm-hmm. So I'd rather, instead of putting my energy in confronting you, I'd rather leverage your energy to confront the dynamic together. And it's a willingness from both parties. There's no question about that. But as we talk about it with the radical collaboration, it's not that people don't want to work together. A lot of it is they don't know how. So it's that skill set again, to how do you start to recognize where you might be in a compatibility dynamic, and it doesn't put anybody in the light of right or wrong, but rather it's just a dynamic. So name the dynamic. Problem named is problem solved. So instead of me making you the problem, I'd rather saying the problem is this dynamic, because then we have some possibility of solving it. Because I can't solve you and you can't solve me, but we can definitely solve whatever dynamics between us. That's a skill.